I feel like I was a really good dad, and I was a master of it. Let me give you a good example with what I did with my kids. And I was a single parent starting when Luke was maybe 11 or 12 and Laura was like 5. It hurt. It killed me to be a single parent, especially as an Italian traditional guy. My career was off the charts. I had a great education. I had all the great things in life that I was building in my early 30s. And then all of a sudden, the divorce came. I had to rethink how I was going to raise my kids as a disciplinarian, as a single parent, because that was, I believe, my role. And I didn't want them to get off the track if we were husband and wife and 3 kids and living happily ever after. Well, it didn't happen. So I created my own traditions. I created my own structure. And my structure was something that I wanted to do because I was successful at what I was doing. So I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into alcohol. I wasn't into screwing around. I was a workaholic. And my career was double time now because I had 2 households. And I was hit with some heavy child support, no problem, but it was all the additional stuff that I had to do. But I was really fortunate because I was in sales and marketing. So I could more or less create my own schedule. I got very involved with sports and coaching my kids because that was my way of getting involved. So I coached all 3 of them. Hockey, baseball, softball, soccer, and golf. I brought them involved with golf. I got them involved with a lot of good things because I wanted them to understand how important teamwork was and relationships and friends and respect and kindness. At the same time, you got to compete in the world. I believe Luke understood me better because he was older. It hurt all 3 kids to divorce, but at the same time, they accepted it. And one of the things I did as I went through the divorce, because I was still pretty messed up, man, emotionally, mentally, and I had a career. I was worried about losing my job. We're talking about 80s, late 80s. I wanted to get really involved with my kids. And I also wanted to show them that, you know what, this is okay. We can get through this. And we lived in a small community. And my kids all went to a Catholic school, parochial school. I felt bad that I believe they were the only kids that parents were divorced. And that really hurt, They went through the sacraments, communion, confirmation, and so on. I'm from such a large family. My parents have over 100 descendants. So we saw baptisms, we saw tradition, we saw weddings. And my parents were always unified. They were married eventually 74 years, having that background in sales and marketing and incentivized and loving sports. Not only did I have to have a great career and make enough money so they can live a good lifestyle, my deal with my kids was education. So I sent them to therapy, group therapy, individual therapy, and so on while I was going through the divorce. And the therapist told me eventually, hey, Rock, kids are fine. They're going to make it. You're the one that needs therapy. Oh, okay. I had to let that go to say, okay, I'll work on myself. So as I work on myself, I could help my children grow and not be bitter, not resentful, not hate, and expose them to sports, competition, fun. I put them all on an incentive for grades. Why? Because I wasn't a good student, and I knew what held me back in my career. So what I decided to do with my kids is, besides the therapy, is I'll tell you what. Each one of them I sat down and says, listen, if you get these grades, you take the top classes, you take the classes that you want, but you need to get A's or more, because the GPAs were always 4.0 is high. And then if you take special, more difficult classes, you could get more points. My kids were always at, okay, Dad, that's cool. And it was quarterly, $1,000 per quarter if you hit a 4.0 or above. I'll put that in your savings account. When you graduate from high school, you will have access to whatever you earned. So I sat down with Luke. He's the oldest. I said, Luke, this is what we're going to do. And if you earn it, great. About sophomore year, I could see that, these guys are talented. They're going to go somewhere. They were going for it with the incentive. In a way, they did it a lot easier than I thought, because they were naturally smart, intelligent. They had intelligent friends, sports. They were happy kids. And I was happy that they were happy. Around sophomore year, I was going to an industrial psychologist to get my shit together about what I wanted to do in my career. So I said, you know what, kids? You're going to go see a woman named Mary, and Mary's going to sit down with you and assess your skill set, what she anticipates your future looks like, and possibly even select a career. And that's what they followed her recommendations, which was certain schools, certain professions, and it worked. It worked. I was so proud of it, especially the boys. They really loved the scorecard. And guess what? I didn't have to get involved. I didn't even see the assessments. They just said, hey, Dad, I'm going to go look at these colleges. This is what my background is. And by the way, their background was nothing like mine, which I was very happy with, because they didn't have to come after me and say, Dad, you're controlling me, you're controlling my future. No, they earned their merits. I'm telling you, that's just one example of mastering parenthood. No entitlement with my kids, because I knew working with production, engineers, manufacturing facilities, how hard it is to make a living. People that I've worked with, very few had a college education. Very few. Now that I'm in my 70s and my kids are all in their 40s, it's a beautiful thing. And now I got grandchildren. And I'll guarantee you, my kids are passing on discipline, respect, kindness, education, doing the right thing, all that to my grandkids. And I'm proud. So when it comes down to mastery could be business, it could be a marriage, it could be raising kids. I'm a master. My approach to raising children at a young age, I always talked about three things. Education, including experiences, okay? Number E2 would be encouragement. I was brought up with Fear and threats. Didn't work. It didn't work because we were afraid of our father. I was anyway. I still am. But guess what? I'm my own man. I get it now, Dad. He didn't mean it to be like that, but that's all he knew was go to work, go to work, go to work. And the last is encourage to empower your kids. Empower people as a leader to let them go and fly themselves and learn. It's really hard to do tough love, man. Everybody knows that. But I was really fortunate. I hope my grandkids listen to this about their dad, Luke, and the cousins and so on. I was really blessed and gifted with 3 great kids. And with my life, I couldn't have done it without all the people that would educate me, encourage me, and empower me, including my parents, including teachers, including coaches, mentors. And I'm still learning. Parenting is pretty cool. Pretty cool. You got to stick in there. As they say, never give up. I'd never give up on my kids. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.